Hi, if you receive a letter from CRA inquiring about your world income, don't be alarmed. That's normal. Part of their standard procedure, especially if you are brand new in Canada, meaning it was your first time to file your taxes in Canada. So the letter should look like this. We cannot calculate the amount that you may be entitled to receive for all the periods because we don't have all the necessary information. And then on the second page, it's asking for your world income converted to Canadian dollars as well as for your spouse.
So if CRA would inquire about your world income, all we need to do is just to respond to it. Okay. So actually you will receive in total 3 letters. Okay. The first is for Canada carbon rebate. It used to be called Canada Climate Action Incentive. You would normally receive it the moment after you file your tax. Okay. Maybe after a few weeks you file your tax or a month, you will receive a letter from carbon tax rebate, and you will also receive another letter from goods and services tax or GST. This will be normally mailed to you or sent to you sometime in July. And then if you are a resident of Ontario, you will also receive Ontario Children Benefit. Again, this is also on July.
So why CRA asks for world income? Because our tax rebates or credits are actually based on your whole year income. That's from January up to December 31st. So this type of inquiry is very common if you are first time filer in Canada, meaning this is your first time to file taxes in Canada. Why? Because if you are, for example, you arrived on May 5. When I filed your taxes last March or April, the income that I filed for you is only from the moment you arrived to Canada up to December 31st. But since this tax rebate is based on your whole year income, then CRA is now wondering how much you earn from January until you arrive in Canada in order for them to determine how much rebates or credits you're supposed to receive. So the question though, how much income you're supposed to declare? Please be reminded that this rebate is based on your income, meaning the higher the income that you declare, the lower the credits. If you're single and no dependents at all, meaning no children, income higher than 30,000, you may no longer be eligible for either GST or Ontario Children Benefits. So what can I advise for you? Be conservative when you declare for your world income. You may even declare zero income if you want to. After all, this is only self-declaration, meaning CRA will only process whatever income you declare. They will not require you to submit proof or verify from your country of origin. At the same time, the world income that you declare will not be in conflict with your application with IRCC. Why? Because when you apply for your permanent residency later on, IRCC will only request for your notice of assessment. Your notice of assessment will never mention anything about the world income declaration that you did. So the notice of assessment will only gonna mention your income within Canada. So when you apply for a PR or permanent resident later on, your income before coming to Canada is no longer relevant. What's relevant is your income within Canada.
Okay, the fastest way for you to respond to this inquiry is by calling CRA directly. But before you call them, make sure that you have your notice of assessment or T1 general ready, because CRA will ask information from those documents affirming your identity. But the disadvantage of calling CRA though, because they might hold you for too long, sometimes more than 2 hours, or sometimes you can't even go into the line and they will ask you to call some other time. So if you're working, you have a busy schedule, they're only available up to 5 o'clock, so calling may not be the best option for you. And sometimes when you call, they might ask impromptu questions that you might not be ready of. And the other disadvantage, it has happened in the past. Some of my clients, the information were not taken properly by the officer that is on the other line. For me, the best way to respond to this inquiry is through in writing. If you choose to send your reply in writing, so the first option is sending it through post office mail. But if you send it through regular mail, unfortunately, you will not get a tracking number which will assure you that CRA actually receives your letter, or otherwise you can do it through registered mail, which is quite costly. So the second option is uploading to your My CRA portal. If you are not quite familiar with this process, I highly recommend contact our tax advisors or your assigned tax advisors, and we are all eager to assist you in drafting the letter and also sending your reply directly to your CRA account. In that way, at least we can assure that all the information that CRA needed are actually on the letter, and also CRA actually receives your letter with the confirmation that they have received whatever we sent to your CRA account. Once we've sent our reply, it may take between 2 to 3 months before CRA can actually process it, but don't worry. Once CRA will release all the credits, we'll also release all your past credits in lump sum.
So if you have any inquiry, please do not hesitate to contact me either through text, call, or email, but I am more reachable and I can respond much promptly through text messages.